Have you ever wondered why people identify so strongly with certain groups? Why do we feel a sense of belonging with some and a sense of difference from others? Social identity theory attempts to answer these questions by exploring how individuals define themselves in relation to groups. This theory, developed by Henri Tajfel and John Turner in the 1970s, has become a cornerstone of social psychology, offering valuable insights into intergroup relations, prejudice, and discrimination. Social identity theory posits that a significant portion of our identity comes from the groups we belong to. These groups can be based on a wide range of factors, including nationality, ethnicity, religion, political affiliation, or even hobbies and interests. When we identify with a group, we internalize its norms, values, and beliefs as part of our self-concept. This identification with a group not only shapes our own self-perception, but also influences how we perceive and interact with others. Social identity theory provides a framework for understanding the dynamics between different groups, explaining why prejudice and discrimination occur, and shedding light on the complexities of intergroup relations. By exploring the core concepts of social identity theory, we can gain a deeper understanding of human behavior, group dynamics, and the social forces that shape our world. The development of social identity theory was sparked by a series of groundbreaking experiments conducted by Henri Tajfel and John Turner in the early 1970s. These experiments, known as the minimal group paradigm studies, sought to identify the minimal conditions necessary for intergroup discrimination to occur. Tajfel and Turner's experiments involved randomly assigning participants to groups based on arbitrary criteria, such as their preference for abstract paintings or their estimations of the number of dots on a screen. Surprisingly, even when participants knew the groups were meaningless and had no prior history or interaction, they consistently showed favoritism towards their own group, the Ingroup, and bias against the other group, the outgroup. These findings challenged the prevailing belief that intergroup conflict stemmed primarily from competition for resources or pre-existing animosity. Instead, Tajfel and Turner argued that the mere act of categorizing individuals into groups was sufficient to trigger intergroup bias. They proposed that this bias arises from our innate need to maintain a positive social identity. By identifying with a group, even a minimal one, individuals derive a sense of self-esteem and belonging. To enhance this positive social identity, individuals tend to favor their in-group and devalue the out-group, thereby bolstering their own self-worth. The minimal group paradigm experiments provided the foundation for social identity theory, demonstrating the powerful influence of social categorization on intergroup behavior. This groundbreaking research revolutionized our understanding of prejudice and discrimination, highlighting the role of social identity in shaping human interaction. Social identity theory rests upon three core concepts: categorization, identification, and comparison. These interrelated processes form the foundation of our social identities and influence how we perceive ourselves and others. Categorization. The first step in forming social identities involves categorizing ourselves and others into distinct social groups. This categorization process simplifies the social world by grouping individuals based on shared characteristics such as nationality, ethnicity, gender, or profession. Identification. Once we categorize ourselves within a group, we then identify with that group to varying degrees. This identification involves adopting the group's norms, values, and beliefs as part of our self-concept. The strength of our identification with a group can vary depending on factors such as the group's status, the importance we place on group membership, and the extent to which we feel a sense of belonging. Comparison. Finally, we engage in social comparison, evaluating our own group, the in-group, in relation to other groups, the out-groups. This comparison process is driven by our desire to maintain a positive social identity. To enhance our self-esteem, we tend to view our in-group more favorably, emphasizing its positive attributes while downplaying its negative ones. Conversely, we may exaggerate the negative characteristics of outgroups to maintain a sense of superiority. These three processes, categorization, identification, and comparison, work together to shape our social identities and influence our perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors towards individuals both within and outside our groups. A central concept in social identity theory is the distinction between in-groups and out-groups. In-groups are social groups with which we identify and feel a sense of belonging, while out-groups are those with which we do not identify and may even feel a sense of opposition or rivalry. This in-group/out-group distinction has a profound impact on our social perceptions and behavior. When interacting with members of our in-group, we tend to exhibit favoritism and bias, known as in-group bias. This bias can manifest in various ways, such as allocating more resources to in-group members, perceiving them more positively, or excusing their negative behavior. Conversely, we may harbor negative attitudes and stereotypes towards members of outgroups, leading to prejudice and discrimination. This outgroup homogeneity effect causes us to perceive members of outgroups as more similar to each other than they actually are, reinforcing stereotypes and justifying discriminatory behavior. The in-group/out-group dynamic is a powerful social force, shaping intergroup relations and contributing to conflict and prejudice. However, it's important to note that in-group bias does not necessarily lead to overt hostility or aggression towards outgroups. In some cases, it may simply manifest as subtle favoritism towards one's own group. Understanding the dynamics between in-groups and out-groups is crucial for addressing social issues such as prejudice, discrimination, and intergroup conflict. By recognizing how social categorization influences our perceptions and behavior, we can work towards creating a more just and equitable society.